Hello, beautiful soul. Today we're going to be talking about a lesson from a very unlikely source, poison ivy. I ran into poison ivy a couple of weeks ago, and actually it's about a week ago, and it took a couple of days to show up, and I've got a good case of it. And it's been a long time since I've had poison ivy, so I have been enduring it. Suffering, mildly so. It's just annoying, right? But it was interesting because it took a couple of days before I started to say, okay, what's the metaphysical reason behind poison ivy, right? Now that I have done this mystical training, I know there's always more to all of this, and that I need to find the deeper information, the deeper medicine, right? So I did, and then it was a fun little jaunt. So I thought I'd share this jaunt since I overturned a lot of rocks to find all this various information out, and maybe someone else out there would really like to learn about it. So I've been training myself. Actually, myself has been training myself, if that makes sense. I'm learning to listen better to myself and these intuition hits that I get, and learning how to navigate and what speaks to me and what I know I need to know more of, or I need to move in the direction of. So this was one of those self-guided situations for me to find more information about this. So after suffering a little bit and trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to know about this? Because right now I'm being ignorant to it instead of embracing it and trying to understand it. So I finally hit that point this morning, and the last couple of hours I've been in the rabbit hole, but I've come out with some really good information. I came down to the site in which I got poison ivy. It's right here in the spirit center that I'm trying to get ready and develop so that I can hold some classes out here when the weather is not blistery hot, of course. So I did some channeling and found out some really interesting information, which I'll share at the end. So first off, Druid information started coming up, which was really intriguing. And the way they address poison ivy is they do not see it as an enemy. In fact, none of the metaphysical side of stuff sees it as an enemy. It's all about the lessons that we need to learn, the wisdom we need to be taught. And the Druids, actually, I love their name for it. In fact, I have now adopted it, and they call it Sister Ivy, and the wise Sister Ivy, who has lots of good teachings for you. And this plant has come forward as a teaching plant for me now, a medicine teaching plant. So I've only just started to delve into this information, but I've been getting some really interesting information about how to heal land, and how this plant is actually an indicator to that. But I'll get into that more in a minute. Let's dig into the technical juicy pits, and then we can go and play with the other stuff. So Native Americans used it for a purification process, which is really interesting. So they would actually have rituals where they would use it and allow it to go work through their system to purify parts of them. So they see it not only as something that the body needs to go through, the physical, but also that there is spiritual poison ivy that we need to address too, and that we need to allow that process of purification happening within us, both physically as well as spiritually. So they allowed it to be a part of these cleansings. Eastern philosophy, it pretty much was all that I could find about it in a big way. It was balancing the opposites, that poison ivy's here to teach and show how to balance the opposites in a great way. Because if you think about it, I mean, everything about it is kind of a contrast, right? It's a rash that itches like crazy, but when you finally itch it, the feeling is so euphoric and good, yet it's spreading itself. So those are some polarities to work on, as well as like, it's very easy to get this stuff on the land, but it doesn't grow everywhere. Why is that? There's got to be some polarity answers for that information. So I found that interesting, how it helps to raise awareness about balancing opposites. And that may be coming into your life as the medicine of that plant for this moment. So Western esoteric sees it as a master teacher in alchemy. Ding, ding, ding. That sounded really interesting, and I was really kind of piqued up. And it's got transformational effects both on your body and the spirit. So they see it both the same way too, where that it does something on the physical level as well as on the spiritual level. But for the esoteric, they see it as an alchemist, that the plant actually comes in as a master alchemist. And I'll tell you what, here's some really interesting information. So I got Lyme disease a number of years ago as a landscaper, and it was on my left leg. And the worst of this is all in this general area where I had the Lyme disease. That's really curious to me as this process of purification I'm going through right now. I can feel it, like all this energy that's been sloshing around, all these things that everybody, you all feel like you're walking through the fire of transformation right now, because we're just being, you want to say assaulted, but it's not. You know, it's something deeper. There's this healing purification coming with it. And again, here goes with all of that more esoteric spiritual stuff, where you can see where this plant really comes in on that aspect. So the Hermetic saw it as a transmutator. So again, so they're seeing it as an alchemist. But their aspect of it was that they're going to allow you to find a way to take your culmination of difficult life lessons from the past, you know, things that you haven't quite all healed from, or even those that you have healed from, but you haven't gotten the deeper medicine out of, that this is what this transformation is. When you get this particular thing, it brings this stuff up, and it allows you to find the deeper medicine in a lot of this material that you are finally burning away completely, freely. So before anything can leave us, it has to deliver its lessons, or its messages, or the medicine, as they like to call it. So poison ivy is an activator to help bring this stuff up in us. And I've been going through that. There's been some past stuff that's been connecting pieces that I have seen that I was like, oh, okay, now I see how that worked. And I've been blind to it the whole time until now. That's very interesting. So it's interesting to find out about something, you know, right? We've known about poison ivy all along, and we see it as this enemy that we've got to take care of. Excuse me. We've got a thunderstorm coming in, so we may have to pause or may not. I don't know. But we'll try to work our way through it here. I like the storm, so we'll roll with it. Not only does it allow you to really alchemize these deeper medicines that are it's time for them to come up and be gotten rid of, it allows the room for growth and enlightenment and expansion. So they see it on a deeper level, that this is prepping you for a big spiritual growth, which again, I feel like I'm in this transition, I'm in this process, I'm right there. This is where I'm at this moment. The Hermetic, as I just said, transmuted, but the karmic significance, what I could find out about it, here we go, that the rash discomfort can be viewed as a karmic cleansing. So when our bodies are going through this last purification or karmic cleansing just before another big, say, leap in our spiritual growth and development, this is a process that this master teacher alchemist comes in and does for us. And I definitely feel like that's here cleaning up a lot of stuff, which is interesting. So now the rash doesn't feel so bad. I will say, after reading all of this and delving into this, it's more tolerable. I'll put it that way. I'm treating it, you know, I've got all the good stuff, but it still takes a little bit to work on it to get rid of. The main lessons that poison ivy would bring to us would be simply awareness. Obviously, you need to be very aware of what it looks like, especially since it's a shapeshifter. Where it's on the ground, it kind of has certain kind of leaves. When it's starting to be in a bush form, the leaves can change a little bit. And then when it does start to vine up, it can change entirely and not look the same at all. And she's good about that, Sister Ivy. She's pretty stealthy in her camouflage. So awareness is something it definitely will bring up. Personal boundaries. I heard this a lot through the various research I was doing, and I found it really interesting. And it's about reestablishing or establishing healthy boundaries. So things that you have felt that have been unhealthy, it makes you go back and kind of reassess and find a healthy way to get into it. Uncovering uncomfortable hidden truths from deep within, which again is really intriguing. Sometimes when we're usually a health thing that makes us really face these ugly truths is what I like to call them. I could see that where this would definitely be something like that, because it's going to force us to really focus on ourselves, and not pay attention to much going on the outside world. Something that came up, which was intriguing, also came up in the channeling I got, was defending the land. And I was like, ooh, that's really, really, I actually felt a physical internal response to that information, that you're to see it almost like it's a no trespassing sign of nature's, right? And that you're to respect that no trespassing sign, because there are reasons behind it, and I'll get into that more in a minute. Self-care. Obviously, you got to do a lot of self-care once you start having this rash and it tries to spread itself around, and has fun with you. It's really, really, really intriguing. Spiritual poison ivy, which is the healing, the emotional side of things, linked to humility and forgiveness, which I found very intriguing. It can come as a warning too. Just say you're walking by and you happen to spot it on your walk. It can warn you, say you were thinking about something, right? Or you have a situation that you're just getting to know and you don't know a lot about it quite yet. It could be a warning that what appears innocuous is not innocuous. It's actually something full of poison. So listen to Sister Ivy. She could be a really helpful ally if we decide to really allyship with her, and which I am definitely taking to heart. Alchemist at heart, of course. She's a master at transmuting poison to medicine. So I've been looking at these rashes and seeing each one of these blisters and trying to find where this deeper medicine is and where this deeper information is, and how I need to redirect the way I'm looking at this, that it was not a healthy way to look at it, and that I'm not going to work my way through it if I'm a victim, versus if I say, okay, what is it that I need to face? What is it I need to learn? What is it that I need to know so that I can progress and move on from this? Ultimately, she teaches us how to be free. She is a liberator, which I find really, really intriguing. So that comes more and speaks more to the fact that she's able to take all of these really difficult life lessons, kind of culminate them, and allow us to liberate ourselves from these various things of the past. Like just recently I had something I was working on, but I had the poison ivy going on too, which maybe now that I think about it, maybe she was here to help me with that. Actually, I think she was. How intriguing. Okay, so while I was in meditation, I was kind of going through myself, my checklist of my body and my chakras, my energies and everything, and all of a sudden I got the sensation of a fear belly. And we all have this. This is the only place where fear really likes to live in us in a big way. It can live in various parts, but there's that recurring spot that we have. The belly is definitely it. So I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I think it's time to replace the fear belly with joy. And so I went through this process of internally alchemizing that and shifting that. And that was a really interesting process. And now that I know this, and it's now coming together, so you can see where this information really can help out, she helped me with that. She helped me alchemize that. Well, thank you, Sister Ivy. Thank you. Yes, because everybody, I'm sure, wants to be liberated from the fear belly. Bracing discomfort for personal evolution, which is a catalyst for personal growth. When we start to live more outside of our comfort zone, and don't let a lot bother us, we really liberate ourselves, and we really allow ourselves to really expand and have deeper transformations. Inner cleansing, which is the awakening of, or deepening or awakening of intuition and inner wisdom, which is definitely spot on for that. Cultivating patience through adversity. Yeah, 100%, because I definitely want to scratch that stuff, but I have to wait. And then once, I only scrub it in the shower with the certain scrub that works, that doesn't allow the oils to spread anymore. And I'm like trying to be patient and trying to be, no, I know it itches right now, but I'm going to wait. It's 30 more minutes until shower time. I'm really enjoying the show and I want to continue watching it. So again, that's a kind of a strengthening thing, and inner resilience. Learning discernment as well as wisdom, distinguishing between harmful and beneficial influences in the environment. And this could be, I could see that metaphysically, meaning having multiple meanings in our lives in multiple directions, for sure. It's been, I couldn't believe how much information I was finding out. But when you're ready for it, you're ready for it, right? And something I've known my whole life, right? And have avoided, definitely. I've kind of flirted with it this time because I created an altar just over there in the woods. I'll share a picture of it. And there was just a little bit of ivy there, so I kind of just thought I could tease it out and it wouldn't be a big deal. But I made the mistake of not respecting it enough and ended up getting it all over myself because I didn't realize it must have been on my clothing. My dog got it and it got on me, and therefore it started to really spread. So Sister Ivy, when I was really deeply trying to commune with her and find out what particular did she mean to me, and meanwhile, while I'm doing all this research and reading all this material, I'm waiting for my internal system to tell me exactly what's important for me to know. And although the information about it being a protector of the land definitely came up and is something that's further back of my mind, what really hit me deeply and really hit home was that she has come to be a plant medicine teacher for me. And she is going to be teaching about cleansing and protecting, and that she has claimed me, which I find interesting, and she's going to be protecting me now that I have been through her rash, I guess. I'm feeling something coming now. The rash is an initiation into this relationship that we're having with one another now on a very deep level. This process of understanding, of sharing of energies, this one transfers more to the physical versus just the energetic level. But we want to commune and connect on all levels when we're here as a master teacher for others. So through me, she intends to teach others. So while the classes are here on the land or anywhere else I go, Ivy will be there to help be a teacher for me in wherever I go to help teach information. Okay, thank you for that information. So she claimed me as she is guarding me. She is a guardian of me now. And she is the guardian of sacred spaces, which is interesting because that's exactly where I put my little outdoor altar. Which was what I was preparing and moving the ivy aside for, and took out a few of the strands just to make room. I find that really intriguing, and yeah, this has been deep. And I know it can sound weird, and it can sound like, how the heck can you get all that out of there? But believe me, when you start listening, like really listening, there's a lot of really juicy information. So the channeling that I got, which was really surprising, is her words. This is Sister Ivy's words. That I am not the enemy. That when you play in the woods and you find me, it's for a good reason. I am protecting, alchemizing, recalibrating the environment. I serve a higher good that is completely misunderstood by man. I heal the land. I am like the defense part of your immune system, the protector of the land. When my job is done, I no longer thrive. The later stages of me is climbing and seeding to a new area to heal. Now, I know that sounds like a bunch of hooey, and I could definitely see gardening friends, and as a horticulturist, I know, and you don't want to deal with it, right? But think about it, right? In nature's timeline, which is a vastly different timeline than humans, they could easily be doing just that. If we left it alone, it could be doing just that. And the fact that I do listen to Bashar's teachings, and I found it really intriguing when Bashar said that it's the plants that decide what grows in the environment, that they actually have a council and a choice, that each plant is decided upon before it arrives. So I find that really interesting too, and deeper information. I believe that in my heart of hearts. I can definitely feel it. I indicate an area going through a transformation. And by paying attention to which stage I'm in, you'll know how far the land has progressed. So, thank you, Sister Ivy. And thank you for listening to this wonderful teachings from Sister Ivy and the rabbit hole I fell into from a very unlikely source. Have a great day. Thank you so much. This is Noam signing off.